Club Prosperity family. It's Brent Darden, formerly known online as King Enlightened, hip-hop artist Bill Deuces from Chicago, and I will be the next guest on the Evening Social Podcast. Make sure you check out the next episode. Focus on my dreams.
Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by Jegna Klub TV and Wilson's Pizza and Grill.
This from my pops, California coastlines, living out my real mind. Now it's really showtime. Now it's how I draw a line from the fake to real. That's how it feels when you multi. But let's not forget all of the giants I want to stomp down. Scared that their positions can't be taken with a new sound.
First things first, don't forget the coach, then comes Mo.
And I'm Jabrelle, Jenee.
And we cannot forget our DJ, Ben Rich.
Ben Rich.
Alright, can't forget him. Hey, follow Ben Rich, you know what I'm saying, on Instagram at DJ Ben Rich for any of your party. I don't care what the genre is, he got it. He can do it. You know what I'm saying? Even if, I don't care if it's country. If you name
Man,
something.
Ben got a mountain mix out there.
Yeah, he got it.
He got a mountain mix out there.
He got it. He can check it out. He can check it out. So, follow my guy and any of your DJ needs, he got it. And then tonight, I want to say welcome. We're very happy to have you here to vibe with us, to play a part in keeping the culture with the Evening Social Podcast. The Jegna Club's vision is to build a community of individuals with an entrepreneurial mindset that are economically independent, working in harmony.
The Evening Social Podcast is a platform that introduces students and their families to new career paths, fields, and platforms.
It also helps mirror to our youth the struggles and obstacles that others endure on their way to becoming who they are. In our 62nd episode, we are in for a night of evolving. Our guest is an architect of change.
Yeah.
He's from what they call Chiraq, the home of Larry Hoover, Chi-Town, a native of Chicago. He was mentored by Les Brown. He's a music artist. He's an entrepreneur. Tonight we have my guy, Brent Darden, or also known online as King Enlightened.
King Enlightened.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad you could be here. You know, I got to take a minute to just say that our episode is brought to you in part by Wilson's Pizza, by Henderson Entertainment, by New Wall Street, and then also by the Jegna Klub TV. And then the venue we're at is the elegant 1739 Gallery, right on the corner of 18th and Walnut in Missouri. Now, Brent, man, we're so glad to have you here today, man. I got a lot to talk about. So
Let's
I gotta
get
right into it.
Really?
You know
Let's get it.
We gotta get into it. Tonight's episode is entitled, if you haven't noticed or haven't seen it, you know, tonight's episode is entitled The Art of Evolving. That's our episode title tonight. So I gotta mention one more thing, or two things. Still holding to the part of the definition of the word Jegna. It's a Ethiopian Aramaic word. And part of that is speak truth to power. So tonight we want to make sure that our conversation is that. A lot of people say it's hard conversations, but it's just being honest and upfront about our pathway to becoming who we are. So we want to do that. This conversation is really not for us. This conversation is for those who come before us, those who come after us. So those who helped us on our way and those we want to pull up behind us. So if we were to ask you what's your profession, what would you say?
You couldn't say it no better. Architect of change. So my profession is being an architect and an innovator.
Okay. I love it.
Right. You gotta tell us what that means.
What does that mean?
What you mean by that?
What I mean by architect of change, most people look at architecture from a standpoint of blueprints, drawing, a profession, a title given to you, something you had to go to school for. But this whole time, every conscious thought, every decision, every moment that we move, that's creation within itself. But when you become consciously aware on what you're creating, now you become the architect where you create a life by design.
All right.
So you just trying to get right into it. He's gonna get no breathing room. You just want to dive right into it. So Brent, you see who on the couch?
I just wanted to know people.
She ain't letting nothing slip.
Not everybody know what an architect is.
Facts.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We getting to that.
Come on.
You know, you just jump right in, so now you know. I don't even have to say it now, but you know who just dives right in. All right, here we go.
I don't follow script.
I love it.
She sure don't, because the question she's supposed to ask, she didn't even ask.
What was it?
You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? This how every week, but she'll read my question, then forget hers, go off script. I don't even know why we even write anything. You know what I'm saying?
No script.
Man.
Whatever.
So I have to ask certain questions because our audience, especially our youth, when we play this for them, they need to be able to humanize sometimes. Or sometimes they see adults and they just think they're always adults. They've never been this or they don't have this. You know, I say all the time, I've had, students, I work at the school, I've had students that was like, oh, Miss White, you don't live here? I'm like, no, I don't live in the school. I go home.
Right.
Or, Miss White, you have a kid? I'm like, yeah, I have a family. I'm different. So we ask questions just to make sure the kids can humanize us and understand that we, are human. We have life, side of that. So, are you married?
No, I am not.
Okay.
You have kids?
I have one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna erase that plural. You got one.
You said what?
We're gonna take away that plural,
Oh, so I'm
kids.
singular.
It's always the question: do you have kids with S? It's normalized, like that's human. No, one.
Okay.
Boy, girl.
Girl, 12-year-old daughter. Her name is Lene. Her
Oh,
birthday
she
is
got-
October 1st, so 2 more weeks.
Oh,
Okay.
dang. Happy birthday, Lene. Early birthday, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm. After she asked you kids, after
Yeah.
she went, happy birthday. This out yeah, here we go. Okay. Now, let's get to one of my favorite subjects and segments. This segment is brought to you by Drip Ultra Pure Water, and it's called our fun question or our icebreaker section. We just kind of like to have a little fun, before we get into the deep stuff.
Let me have it.
Let you have it. Oh,
Let me have it. Let me have it.
well, you shouldn't have said that to her. She just going.
Who came up with the question?
Okay.
Now you got me sure. Who
First
came
of
up with
all,
the question?
it's
Which
not
one?
me. It's not me. There's several,
Seven. Okay.
and you'll see.
I like the number 7.
No, not 7.
She just said, just 7.
Seven.
Several.
Plural. Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I'm with
several
it.
questions.
And she don't go on script. So the stuff I write, she don't even read.
I don't.
So just be prepared. I got you.
All right, I'm gonna let you go first
You
again.
always try to let me go first.
I always try. For the first 50-something episodes, I went first. Now all of a sudden, I'm trying to, women's right. Let you go first. Now you want to, let me go first. Okay, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I won't.
Right to choose.
I won't let you. I won't worry about. I won't let you go first no
Choosing
more.
to go
Here,
second.
walk behind.
Yeah, follow me.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see.
no,
What are
Okay.
the 3 scents you hate the most? And I mean scent like smell.
Oh, okay.
What's the
got you.
3 scents that you hate the most?
Chitlins, vinegar, and baby in the pamper.
Okay. Chitlins, vinegar, and, baby droppers in the pamper.
There you go, baby
Well,
droppers.
chitlins and baby droppers, that's about the same
The same
smell.
thing.
It's about the same thing. Okay, I like that. Okay. Okay.
I could agree with that.
Okay.
Okay. What fictional character would you most like to be friends with?
Fictional character. That's a great question. Fictional character I would like to be best friends with.
Not best friends, but just friends with.
Character. I would have to say. That's a good one. I don't even want to sit on that long. Can we do a pass? Or we gotta answer
you got stumped.
You got me.
Oh,
Come on,
man.
Darden, you got this.
Put a
A
stamp on
fictional
this
character.
is
All right, so when you say
number-
character,
this is number 2.
what I tend to do is I don't have the normal mind of most people. Not saying everybody's average. We all come to this planet, to this earth with the same equivalent qualities, but God blesses some of us with a higher thought. So when you ask questions like that and you say character, it goes deeper than just
Well, give us what you
a
got.
non-fictional person. Okay, but if I had a character, I'm gonna say a person. it'll be Malcolm X.
Okay.
Hands down, Malcolm X.
Okay. She said fictional.
I did say.
I know, but you got, you know what I'm saying? You look at character, you look at people paint stories on this man. You don't know what's real and what's not. But if we had to pick fictional, and I don't really do fictional, that's why I said Malcolm X, I would have to go with the Hulk.
Like the Incredible Hulk?
The Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
That's why you see the green.
Right, because I want to know why. I always want to know why.
The Hulk, for one, look at the word incredible. So it's
Yeah.
it's the qualities, especially the very first movie. The very first movie with the Hulk, how he had to try to channel his anger, how he tried to hide it. He didn't want to
That's
let
what I was
he
saying.
didn't want to let it out. So to see from the very first movie of Hulk, not looking at people who know comics, but the movies, to go into how the Hulk operates now in the Avengers, he's the forefront, he's the most powerful Avenger. So who
Yes.
don't want to be the most powerful?
Because he does display the most self-restraint, self-control.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. I like that.
And it's
Okay.
resilience. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you this one, and I'm switching up myself this time. I want to know, who was your role model growing up?
I'm gonna have to say, I don't want to sound like the average Chicago kid. I don't want to sound like the average person coming from the hood. But my role model was really the movies, and it was the drug dealers in the corners. But if I had to point out one individual, I'll say it's my brother. I'm the youngest of 11 siblings. On my mother's side, it's 5 of us, so it's 4 boys and my little sister. I'm the youngest male out of 11. So seeing my brother, my mama's very first son, outside on the corner all the time with the big chinchilla coats, the big earrings, the Pellies, the Tims, hustling, rolling dice, the Cadillacs with the 100 spokes, and just having money. We going to church. He giving us money every day on the corner, just like keeping us fed. That was my role model. But even though he was in and out of jail, I knew what he was doing I didn't want to do. But there was no one that would give us the things that we wanted. Because my father had me at 53 years old. He was an older man where he didn't really care too much about the Jordans, the Nikes. So we would get made fun of going to church. My dad would treat me and my brother like twins, dress us up like church kids, tuck your pants in. But when they not looking, the bell ring, we out in the hood, my brother's on the corners, all the gangsters on the corners, and they looking up to him. And so I knew I wanted that type of status. I wanted that type of feel. I wanted to be the person in a position to hand out kids these money in the neighborhood, pay for them to go to the swimming pool and do things like that. So my brother was my first role model.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
I love that. I mean, it's a lot to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It gets deep.
Yeah. Okay, because I see you deep, Mr. Darden. What do you think the meaning of life is?
Create. Create. And anybody can just say that, but when I say create, people want to run from it. Like, well, I don't know what to do. It don't matter. Once you wake up, once the creator wakes you up, and you start thinking from your next step to go to the bathroom, go here, that's creation within itself. I just push the message of people to be more intentional and live an intentional life and be more conscious of what they're creating and not unconscious of what's going to come, whether they're aware or not.
Okay, we got a couple more, then we gonna round it out. So I'm gonna ask you, if you were a bird, what kind of bird would you be?
Eagle.
Eagle?
Eagle.
Okay. The bald eagle?
Like, cause I was not gonna say that, but then I'm like, we see you, bitch.
The eagle that's on the money. The eagle that's on the money. I see money. I spy.
Okay, I just asked. I mean,
No,
just
great
asked what it
question.
was.
I like it.
You know.
Okay. Would you want to learn what people really think of you?
Ooh, every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I tend to always ask people because I'm non-biased, and I feel like the moment an individual can come outside of themselves and be open to strategic criticism or structured criticism or just criticism from all angles, like they say, all publicity is good publicity. But if you only in your, I'm gonna say it like this. Les Brown said it best. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. So if I'm in a frame and I want to self-correct, then I'm not going to a therapist because it's not normalized to go search for a therapist, talk to your problems. You hide and you hold everything. But if I'm talking to different people of different backgrounds on how they see me or what they hear, then I can take that and create a beautiful masterpiece.
I always say some of the most dangerous people are people who are unaware of themselves.
That
Like
way.
if you can't look at yourself and be objective, that's dangerous, man. I don't want to be around people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Who can't take constructive criticism and apply it.
They
That's
lack
crazy.
self-control.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fix something that you don't admit is a problem.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah,
That's crazy.
I'm gonna ask anybody, everybody I meet, hey, what you think about this? How you feel about this? But what I'm discovering and learning though, some things are not to be questioned because God has gave me the vision and answers already.
I see you.
Okay.
Mr. Enlightened.
All
What is a
right.
king enlightened?
King and light.
King enlightened.
So I got two more questions. I do. I don't know how many she got, but I got two more. This one was been debated over and over. I'm like, psh, Brent coming on, he gonna better handle this. He gonna better tell us to get this one. So, do fish get thirsty?
Do fish get thirsty? Take them out their water, they do. Take them out their habitat, they do.
So they get thirsty only when they out of water. When they're in water, they don't get thirsty.
nah.
So the whole time
They too conditioned.
and drinking that the whole time that water going, they ain't thirsty.
No, it's always fulfilled, already fulfilled. How you gonna be thirsty? Thirsty is for something that you lack, that you without of.
Okay.
That's the best answer we done got though.
Thirsty is something that when you without. You said when you're without.
Without of, yeah.
Without of.
When you're going without of the thing that's the quality of your life, you become thirsty for it.
So maybe
So-
a better question is what they thirsty for.
So, nah, I'm just gonna
That's
say.
cheating. No, don't listen. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue on.
I was just my next question was, so what do they drink when they out of water? When they thirsty, what do they drink?
That's a great question. They're gonna drink whoever comes to their aid. Those who don't come to their aid, well, your life is well served.
So do they want water? They want Kool-Aid? They want a little bit of that SLEK vodka? They want
Since they being taken out their natural habitat, they want to go back to which they just got taken from. So it's the water. What they say, the human body is 70-80% of water, but we don't really drink it. We feed to the things that taste good. Fish don't care about what tastes good. Fish just want to live.
I ain't gonna lie. The concept. I mean, the way that you just posed your answer.
Okay, I like that.
I might write about
had
that
a
later.
question.
I mean,
I had to ask. I mean,
it's what you thirst for. It's a lack
It's a
of
good
something.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
a
good
good
answer.
answer. Are you through, or you?
I was
you
waiting
ask
for
my last
your-
one?
I want you to ask your
This
last
is my last one, and this one was really debated. And Ben, he went to Sumner, was an engineer, and I ain't like his answer. So now I'm gonna ask you to see what's going
I ain't
on.
like his answer.
So there's a few answers I didn't like. I was like, I'm gonna wait to see what Brent said. In pineapple, which came first, the pine or the apple?
Why do I feel like I heard this before? But my answer, which came first, the pine or the apple? I'm gonna say the apple.
The apple came first.
I'm
Why
gonna
is
say the
that?
apple. Because everything in life I look at is a reflection of us. Ash to ashes, dust to dust, right? So if we take the simple thing is like marriage. If I want to marry you, you got to take my last name. So when two people come together, they become one. So if we talking about apple is its own individual, pine is its own individual, then whatever comes last had to be one to give that, So I'm going to say apple comes first.
Okay.
Well,
So
I feel
I
like
asked
we
this.
watched our last
I asked this
episode.
question. Ben, I asked this question because he was in the audience when I asked it the last time.
So this is where I heard it from.
What he
I'm like,
said.
it sounds so
I
familiar.
wanted to see
All
what
right,
he
there you
said
go.
on this one. Was he
Right.
going? Was he going to
No,
follow?
but look.
Was he
Now
going to
that he
follow
reminded
what
me,
I?
I agree because I can't remember who. I forgot what the two guests what their answer was.
Yeah.
But I agree with that because even outside.
Yeah,
of,
that's what I said.
Even
I said,
outside of that, I look
they
at.
said all this. I said, well, apples. You take the last name of who you married. So I just had to see, what was going on. I just wanted to.
Yeah, but that's I'll switch it up for you.
No, you ain't gotta switch
I'm about to say,
nothing
take
up.
out marriage. You take out marriage. Just look at
Man,
pineapple.
you ain't
You know what
gotta
I'm saying?
switch
I mean, it
nothing
was a
up.
good
That was
answer.
your
I
answer.
agree too.
That
Okay.
was your answer.
I like it.
Now that you said it, she agrees. See, she wouldn't agree if I said it. Now you said it. Now she won't agree. That was my whole point. That was my whole point. She don't want to. I can say it and she don't want to agree to it. This sound, But you said, somebody else said, oh yeah, that sounds great. Man, he sounds so important.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
You want my love and
It's all
affection
good.
so bad.
It's all good. Hey, you know what? We're going to move on to our next segment, but we're going to take a quick little break right here. And for our live audience members, we're going to have Brent Darden perform one of his new songs.
Ain't that crazy? He gonna double as the special guest and the musical guest. Come on.
Go. All right. So we'll be back right after this performance.
Peace, love, prosperity, family. This song right here is Famous Vaughn featuring me as hip-hop artist BL Deuce. It's called Growing Up. Give you a little background story on my circumstances coming from Chiraq, also known as Chicago, Illinois. Hey, DJ Rich, drop that.
Growing up, where you from, gon' throw it up. Brody gone off the double cup, then you need to slow it up. Best life, I'ma live it up. I'm on passion, ain't no giving up, ain't no fucking slowing up. Get the money and stack it up. No booze, take, but we racking up. Keep this shit, we going up. And they talking, they ain't real as us. From the struggle, I hope they feeling us.
Nicks and dabs, quarters and halves, taking shots that don't add. Homies a trap, risk taking, playing with freedom and death. When you get money, gotta work on your neck. Looking over both shoulders, not knowing who next. It's a hate on every corner that'll kill for a check. Every dollar that you earn, invest before you flex. See investment come junkies, hard workers come homeless. Abused mothers turning addicts, they don't see no escape. Hearing shots every night, start getting over the May. From the floor to air mattresses, pissy mattresses. Never will I go through poverty again. I'm growing up, run away from the sand. Always had a heart, never been a tin man. I'm a Wizard of Oz, master king in the game. They say everything involves one of me to the change.
Growing up, where you from, gon' throw it up. Brody gone off the double cup, then you need to slow it up. Best life, I'ma live it up. I'm on passion, ain't no giving up, ain't no fucking slowing up. Get the money and stack it up. No booze, take, but we racking up. Keep this shit, we going up. Yeah, they talking, they ain't real as us. From the struggle, hope they feeling us.
Tonight's episode was brought to you in part by Wilson's Pizza and Grill and Jegna Klub TV. Our Facebook Live broadcast was brought to you in part by New Wall Street. Our musical guests are brought to you in part by Henderson Entertainment. Our live audience giveaways are brought to you in part by The Royals. Our venue partner is the Elegant 1739 Gallery. Our clothing partners are Truth, The Reason, and Brainiac 91. Our beverage partners are Drip Ultra Pure Water and SweetE's Teaz.
The dude that y'all had on the performing last time. I want this song.
Yeah. So we are back. What's happening, good people? I had to play a little bit of that. We just went to that video shoot. So my people at District. Shout out to YGKC. Just had a video shoot for Training Wheels. Yesterday actually, man. Great job, great thing. So we're back as always. We're in for a treat tonight. We welcome you. We're happy you're here to vibe with us, to play a part in keeping the culture here on the Evening Social Podcast. I am First Things First. Don't forget the coach. Then comes Mo.
And I'm Jabrelle Jenee.
And this is our DJ. Cannot forget him. DJ Being Rich. You can follow him on Instagram at DJ Being Rich. I just want to put this out there. I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I don't know how this happened, but DJ Being Rich is the only one got his own camera. You see what I'm saying? He got a whole camera just to himself.
That's childish.
Go follow him on here. Hey, and we are in the house with the architect of change himself, known online as King Enlightened, Brent Darden.
Brent Darden.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Now, we can't forget our partners. Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by Wilson's Pizza and Grill, Henderson Entertainment, New Wall Street, and Jegna Klub TV. Our venue is the 1739 Gallery. Do not forget that they're on the corner of 18th and Walnut in Kansas City, Missouri. Come out. This art you see behind this lovely art is displayed every week here. Also, our brand partners, we cannot forget that. You know, I'm rolling with the truth. T, don't make sure you get a picture of this, T. You see that? All right. Then I got to make sure you get this on the camera, too, get a picture of this. See what that say on the back? You know, I'm blocking somebody out, too, T.
Y'all do something else.
You know what I'm saying? You know, Truth Apparel. You know, then we cannot forget Brainiac 91.
Brainiac.
You
I ain't
know?
got on no Brainiac tonight, but you know that's my baby boo. Comfort with a little bit of style, man. Shout out to Brainiac 91. all
Get
day.
into it.
Yes, get into it.
Yeah, don't do commission like that. Get into it.
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
Come, commission, no, I roll with her.
You don't
You
do
know what I'm
it.
saying? But I tell commission, to the moon. To the moon. All right, then we also have Drip Ultra Pure Water, SweetE's Teaz, SLEK Vodka, Konfidence 71. And I cannot forget, you know what I'm saying, PLG Wavy Edition. You know, can't forget that. Then we can't forget our giveaway partners with the Kansas City Royals. You know, someone has the opportunity to win 4 tickets plus a parking pass for Royals tickets. Cannot forget my guy Max Mendoza with Heartland 180.
What's up, Max?
That donate some great smelling candles for us as well. All right. Be sure to follow us, the Jegna Klub, on all social media platforms. We're out there. All right. Now, this is an opportunity, Brent. Our show is not just about highlighting people in our community that look and come from where our community, our young people come from, but this is an opportunity for us to give what we call oxygen. Yeah. Not flowers. We're not knocking anybody or anything about the flowers. It's just we want to give oxygen. This is an opportunity. It's our way to breathe life into you, into what you are doing, and just show big love. So if you would please join us in giving him a round of oxygen, please.
Thank you. I receive that.
Take that in.
I receive that.
Take that in.
Now, normally we go into a section of speaking truth to power right about now. Normally we go into that. You want to go? No, I'm cutting that today. Nah, I'm just playing. Man, you see how she look? Okay.
Hey, I roll with it.
No. So this is an opportunity to go into our Speaking Truth to Power segment with Jabrelle Jenee, brought to you by Brainiac 91.
Brainiac 91. Actually, today on Speaking Truth to Power, I kind of just want to piggyback on what the King of Enlightenment has said. You know, the architect of change. That requires action, man. Right? Thoughts is a hallucination, right? If you got a vision without works, it's a hallucination. You got to put some action behind it. I have been in the process myself, and y'all know I get in my feelings when it comes to speaking truth to power. I'm always just telling a little bit too much about myself and my life. But I've thought enough on it, right? Okay. I've created a number of scenarios within my mind, and I've written it out. But now it's time to put some action behind it. It's time to apply some footwork in order for it to come to fruition. And so that's it. If you're going to be an architect of change, don't keep it in your head. Don't keep it to yourself. I mean, you could put it in your book and pray that it manifest all day, but without action behind it, it's dead, right? Faith without works is dead. It's dead, man. You know, and now is the time. We about to go into a new year. Like 2022 went by so quickly. We already in the 9th month, right? The new year is coming quick. Everybody going to be talking about resolution and this and that, and now is the time to start, man. Our 2023 is going to look exactly the same. it's going to look exactly the same, and that's going to be all on you. So if it's something that you're dreaming about, it's something that you're thinking about, it's something that you've written down, anything, you praying on it, all of that, man, I encourage you, and I'm telling you, now's the time for you to apply action, movement. And that's it.
Preach.
Love it. I love it.
You got the oxygen right there.
Oxygen. Oh, Lord, we ain't going to be able to get off the couch. No, I love it. I love it. So let's move into our next segment. And let's talk just a little bit about growing up, man. Just a little bit about kind of growing up. So you grew up so where were you born?
So I was born in Berwyn Hospital, and I was taken back to my actual neighborhood where I'm from, which is Inglewood, Southside Chicago, 53rd and Honorary. I spent a lot of time, summers, going back to the city after my father moved me when I was 2 years old out to the suburbs. It's right off of 63rd, so I am a 63rd baby. 63rd in Harlem, Argo neighborhood, and 67 Hermitage. So that's all Inglewood. So anytime you think about the inner city of Chicago, the heart, where is Brent Darden story from is Inglewood, and then south side as far as 64th and Stony Island. That's the heart.
All right. So what grade school did you go to?
I went to Bridgeview. So
Bridgeview.
when I talked about my father moving me out the city because he wanted something different from us, my father had me at 53 years old. My mother was 30-some at the time. She was on drugs. So by the time I was 5 years old, me and my brother at the time got put into foster care. My sister wasn't born at the time, so my father had to go through the paperwork, and he had to retire early and really be a man and step up and take us out the system. And from that point, that's when we moved to Justice, Illinois, and that's when I started going to school to Bridgeview. Bridgeview, Illinois, that's a suburb. It's mid-class. It got diversity, but my school was majority around Arabics, whites, and a lot of different foreigners. It wasn't too much of my people, our people. So that's where I went to school at Bridgeview, Illinois, fresh out of the city, moving further into the suburbs.
Okay. Middle school, same area?
Mm-hmm. Middle school, same. High school, it changed. We got into some hard times out there as far as me and my brother getting into our older brother ways, the streets. And from that, it came to a situation I almost got shot when I was 12 years old. It was a fight breaking out. My father was a gentleman. He told me and my brother, never put your hands on a woman. So it was a guy outside one day, and he was talking to this young lady aggressively. We junior high school students at this time, 7th, 8th grade. My brother in high school at this time. He's like, man, stop talking to that lady like that. What's your problem, man? He's like this ain't none of your business. Stay over there. He's like, ain't none of my business, but you ain't finna put your hands on her. He's like, what you gonna do about it then? So they getting squatted up. They gonna fight one-on-one. Some guy came out of the blue and just snaked him, hit him in his face. And he didn't know at that time, it's about 13, 14 of us, like family and friends, and you from a whole different area. So that started to escalate, and that didn't end well. That person got put in the hospital, broken wired jaw, and he had to call older siblings, and it kind of got us forced to hurry up and move because now guns got into play. And them older people, they don't care how young you are. You hurt somebody's sibling, you know, people act emotionally, and now you about to die. So my father, we had to be honest with what happened, what we did in the neighborhood, so he had to pack things up, and we moved further out to the suburbs where I started to go to Rich East High School in Rich South.
Okay. All right. So, did you play sports or were in any of the, activities or anything?
So
clubs, chess club?
No, but I love chess. My father, I love chess. I got a chessboard on my table, glass chessboard. My father taught me and my brother how to play chess. My father was a Golden Glove boxer, so he taught us in-house boxing. He didn't want us to go to the gym because he didn't want us to get registered. Because we got registered, you can only hit somebody with open hand.
Right.
So boxing was a forefront. I was a big fan of Walter Payton and Emmitt Smith and Deion Sanders. So when I got to Pop Warner Football League, my dad kept us in community centers. He kept us into sports. I can't say that, so my hat go off to my father for that. And I was a running back. I was a quarterback. I even played center at one point in time. I played nose guard at one point in time. I was a kicker, the punter, and kick returner. So any position you can think of, I nailed it. I was great at it. Only thing I failed a little bit is quarterback. I didn't have the accuracy. I just had a long arm. I could throw far. So freshman year, I was a quarterback. That lasted freshman year for the first half semester. And they put me back at running back, so I was just running back. And on defense, I was the corner and safety. So football is my main thing. Sophomore year in high school at Rich South High School, I won the high school dunk contest out of 5 other competitors. So that was a big reward for me in high school. Towards the end of sophomore year, I got arrested for residential burglary. My father at that time, he still, like I said, we get made fun of. We in a new city. He didn't want us to get us the Jordans, the shoes, and all that. So at that time, it's you either gonna pick up drugs or you're gonna rob and you're gonna steal. So we started doing residential burglary, got caught, had to go to junior high school and take night classes. But at that time, it still didn't change me. And I told myself before my father passed, I said, if I don't make it successfully in football, I don't want to do basketball because I just like dunking. I just want to be in the dunk contest. But I'm going to be a boxer. And if I don't be a boxer, I'm going to be a rapper. And if I don't be a rapper, you might not like this, but I'm going to be the next largest gang leader in Illinois because I looked up to Larry Hoover.
Okay.
Come on, Darden.
That was the mindset.
Right.
I got it. So, with that being said, okay, tell me a little bit about. You said you were arrested at that point. Where did you go from there? Like, where was the next step from there? You know, for you, was it worse or was it starting to be on a different path?
A little bit of both, but more so worse, unknowingly. So earlier when you asked me the influence, it was movies like Baller Blocking, State of Property, Belly,
I forgot State Property.
East Side is like every hip hop artist that made a movie back then. I indicated that because when I looked on the corner at my brothers and my uncles and all that, and my uncle he was a high ranking on the board of the growth and development they called back in the day Gangsta Disciples, but the brothers of the struggle. So I didn't know the influence of who my family really was. So when I was growing up and I seen the movies, it was like my real life. So I was imitating them. So when I got to jail, I'm looking like, I know a little bit about law. It's my first offense. I'm going to do 30 days. I ain't worried about it. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get swole. I'm going to do my push-ups. I ain't finna read no books. I wouldn't care. I got caught, but I'm going to do it better next time. I'm going to do something different. So it really didn't correct me or nothing, but I didn't like the circumstance. I said, if this is what juvenile detention center look like, I don't want to go to jail. So I told myself I just got to be smart and move a little different. And it didn't happen right away. It didn't slow me down. And God, when you ask, you got to be careful what you pray for. So after I got out of jail, sophomore year, I found out about backsliding. So to give you a brief history, my family is Pentecostal on my dad's side and Baptist on my mother's side. Emmett Till is my first cousin, so all our family is Baptist from that standpoint, and they real big on like how you talk to people since that whistling incident happened in Mississippi, and we hold close and dear to each other. But after getting out of jail, my junior year, I just told myself, I want to do something different that's impactful because I want to have a family one day. And just to backtrack a little bit, my sophomore year, living in the suburbs, Park Forest, Illinois, still documented today. I won't incriminate myself, so I'm free to speak on all these things. I started a gang that grew up to over 300 members, and the paperwork is still documented in Park Forest, Illinois. But because I was a football player and I was a basketball player and I was in the PAC program and talent shows, I was approached by an undercover police officer when I was with 13 of my friends at the park, and he pulled me to the side. He said, "Hey, your friend got arrested. We got paperwork in the locker." And just like any other person, that's not me. I'm just talking about. Chill. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but you got talent. You got good potential. If you don't stop, they about to build a case on you right now. And I'm speaking on your behalf, and I'm letting you know this right now. So at that time, I had to call a meeting, and I had to stop that everything from that point. But back to junior year, after starting my game, getting locked up, I wasn't slowing down. I found out about backsliding. I prayed to God, like, please, just take my life, do whatever, put me through whatever. Choose your words carefully. Put me through whatever. He already gave me a situation where I had drunk off a friend of mine, had strep throat, and I had bacteria mucus clogged in my breathing, so I had to get a trachea. And when my father brought me to the hospital, he didn't want to go like black people. They don't like hospitals. So he was like, "Man, you sure you want to go? I don't want to sit up there all day." I'm like, "I can't breathe." So he took me to one hospital. They sent me home with throat spray. Next day, it still wasn't getting good. I'm like, "I got to go back." I go back. I wake up. I can't talk. I can't talk. Something in my throat. My father ain't there. By the time my father come, my uncle come, my dad come in the room, it's the little board when you draw, when you turn the little knob. And the doctor came in and said, "Sir, it's a good thing you brought him in last night because at the rate of the swelling, if you didn't bring him in, he would have passed in his sleep. And I don't know how to say this, but it's a possibility he may not speak again. And if he does, he will need a voice box." So I was in the bed crying for tears, saying, "This can't be happening. I don't see this. I'm a music artist, and this can't happen." So after 3 days of praying and just believing and seeing, the doctor came back in, removed the trachea, the muscles, spit up the mucus, and it was going good. So I was out the hospital from that point. But out of all that, from the gang, from the throat surgery, from being stabbed in my knee, I wasn't enough. So when I said, send me through whatever, God said, I got one more for you. I done locked you up. I done almost took away your voice. All right, you don't want to listen. Here we go. I graduated senior year. I had my daughter at 19 years old. She's 6 months. I told myself, like, all right, let me get a little more hustling in. I got a daughter now. I'm out of high school. The job didn't fall through that I was going to be a mechanic. So let me just hustle real hard one more time. I got set up, put at gunpoint, and at that point, I was still ego tripping, like, I'm in the suburbs. Like, y'all ain't no city people, I ain't about that life. So when a guy had put the gun to me at the window, I thought three things. One, this gun ain't real. Two, it either ain't loaded. Or three, he ain't gonna shoot. He ain't about that life. Obviously, I was wrong. I got shot. I ducked down, so that's why I got hit. The bullet still is in me today. To tell you about the difference between the inner city of Chicago and the suburbs, police really don't care about black people. You just another statistic. This happened December 11th, 2011. And I was sitting when that happened, I pulled off to the next block to my friend's house. Hey, take me to the hospital, I'm shot. He picked his daughter up. We tried to speed off the block. Police cars surround us. And as they surrounded us, they treat me like statistics. Like, we shot, calm down. I get out the car. The lady looked. He is shot. Take him out the handcuffs. And I don't know how to react. I never been shot. I'm not even thinking about.
They handcuffed you while you was shot?
Yeah, I don't know if the bullet gonna move.
Yeah.
So just make a long story short, they cut me open in the wintertime as far as the vest and everything, and sitting there interrogating me, asking me questions, take me to the hospital. I get ready to leave. I come back. They say come back the next day for your paperwork. It's a Saturday. Come back. We can't release paperwork on Saturday. You got to come back Monday. Come back Monday. Go to the trauma unit. Oh, I'm sorry. You got to set an appointment. You got to get a X-ray. Come back Wednesday, get an X-ray. They look at it. Well, fortunately, your wound's already closed up, and the bullet is lodged right there in your bone, so we can take it out, but it's going to cut through more ligaments, and it's going to be a different healing process, and I don't know how it's going to be. Only thing is, like I say, it's in a safe spot right now. Just don't play football no more and don't get hit a certain way or to move. So here I am, 12 years later, bullet in me because the improper structure instead of taking me to a trauma unit and putting me through all this hassle. So it didn't get better for me. It got worse. And after I got shot, my family, everybody thought it was best instead of me retaliating because, as I said, my family and who I'm associated with and the calls that we can make and make things happen, they said it'd be best just to leave. I had a friend that already had moved out of Kansas City, Missouri, and he left his house and moved to left his uncle's house, moved to Wyandotte, Royal Ridge, reached out to me. His baby mother at the time said he has a kid, just bring him out here. It's more opportunities. So when they called me, I was talking on speaker. The mother of my child, she agreed I should leave. I don't know about no Kansas. What am I gonna do in Kansas? I don't know. I ain't going to Kansas. Hung up the phone like, y'all talk about it. So I made the decision to move. So when people say, what changed you? A baby and a bullet. That was my transformation. So it got good and it got worse.
A baby and a bullet. Okay. Now I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. All right. Talk about the stabbing.
The stabbing.
You went real fast past that.
He did.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get too much in that. So basically, don't knock me. Females. So
you know they'll cut you.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll cut you.
So I was
Yes.
10 years old. I was just making fun of one of my brother friends' little sister. We was in the house sitting like I am on the couch, had some corduroys on, just making fun of her, teasing about a boy. She pull out one of them Mike and Myers butcher knives. And like, stop playing with me. I'm gonna cut you. I'm like, you ain't finna cut nobody. And she walked. I'm just playing. Said something again, smart. She came over there, hit me on my coat. I'm like, stop playing before you really cut me. And I said one more little smart thing. She hit me in the knee. I think she thought she hit me with the back of the knife in my knee. And I was like, you cut me. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I cut you. And I was just messing with you. As soon as I pull my pants back, all I can do is see my bone. Like, oh snap, you really cut me. And she was like, I'm sorry, my mama gonna kill me. I'm not supposed to have company. Can we just band-aid it up? Well, I can't band-aid this. I gotta go to the hospital. So that's where the stabbing came. That's what happened at.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see, y'all overreact.
I'm gonna say he should have been quiet.
Oh, he should have been quiet.
He
should have been quiet.
That's exactly what I took.
But not that you shouldn't have played with the knife or nothing. He should have been quiet.
You should have left her alone. That's exactly what I took from it.
That's what you took.
No,
you didn't take
yes.
that you shouldn't have a knife and you shouldn't be playing with
I
the
feel
knife.
like the people in the audience took the same thing from it.
I don't think the whole audience took that.
Thank you. They did.
I don't think the whole audience took that.
Listen, thank God that you lived to tell about it, but I bet you learned. I bet you learned that day.
See, I'm not gonna go there today.
See,
you know, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna let that slide. But you know what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. We're gonna put the on that one.
Listen,
Okay.
Brent, I'm so glad. I'm so glad
Thank
that
you.
you made it through. Yes.
I almost sound like you said she should have did more. I'm like, well,
I'm so
That's what
glad.
she
I'm
thinking.
so glad.
What she really over here thinking is, he better be glad it wasn't me, because I was. That's what she really over here thinking. Yeah.
that way.
I know my
said
sister. She
nothing
would have
of the
been
sort.
Well, we glad.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to bring up, bad thing, but what I wanted to do, man, because I got a chance to talk to you a little bit, and see some things. What I wanted to do is I wanted to paint a picture for our audience and for our youth to see some of the struggles, some of the things, and that it didn't click at first, but that doesn't stop evolving. That don't stop you from changing. That doesn't stop you from reshaping yourself and moving to a higher, part of you, a person for yourself.
I'm going to tell you what I noticed in it, right? In the evolution of it. His mindset was always that he was going to be great. He was going to be great. He might not have had the mindset that, the right idea about what he wanted to be great at. But the mindset was always that he was going to be great. It's cool.
Most of the time, that's what the mindset is.
Not always, but
Just add to that. It's glad that you see that now, because like you said, paint that picture. I didn't see that for a long time. I thought I was just being a follower, because I kept being teased, And if you want me to tell you that story, that's why most people say on your show, you all show, how you the first person to perform and interview. You must be, but that's the architect of change right there. Someone told me. It was Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers said on the campus, he said, if you're trying to get someone penicillin and they won't take it, it's no difference if it come from me or somebody else if they crunch it up and put it in orange juice. Bottom line, you still get the penicillin. So with that being said, I never looked at myself being great. I see myself, I'm a follower. I always following people. But later on, I discovered when I look back and look at their story and their lives, I always followed leaders. And in the Bible it says, even the greatest amongst you shall be your servant. So I just became a servant. I was a street soldier. I was serving, even though the things I didn't want to do. But when you're in them environments, you have to adjust. It's not a pretty world. But I always seen sports as an outlet. Okay, I'm in the streets. I'm going to do what I'm going to do now. And I was a little kid, like, you good at talent. Stay away from us. Stay from it. But you're not hiding it. Kids see everything. So I'm going to want to idolize and be the people who that's my family that everybody else look up to. But I always thought I was a follower. So when I got to the suburbs, I kind of lost myself because I wasn't in touch as with the city no more. My grandmas, my cousins, I just stayed away from them because my dad didn't want me becoming that. But instead of becoming that, I said, you know what? I'm just going to form my own thing. I'm going to do my own thing. But here's where the greatness comes in, that when I watched Larry Hoover documentary and stopped listening to what the newspaper said about it and what his intention was and what was the real goal behind the organization, it hit. And when it hit, I said, you know what I'm going to do? Now that I'm in the suburbs, everybody's from the west side, south side, everybody gang banging this. You on the 5-point star, you on the 6-point star. We all going to come together. We're going to create one name. And when you go back to your neighborhoods, you still who you are. But when we come together, because together everybody know in numbers we are strong. And that's the beginning of the greatness that started to begin. So if I tell myself today, if I was 15 years old, ignorant, adolescent, and was able to create something that grew over 300 members in 5 different cities and states, imagine what I can do now on the business level.
that was going to be one of my fun questions too. What is the most unexpected advice that you've received or influence?
Expected advice.
Unexpected.
I wouldn't call it advice. I'll call it a heads up. I was working in Les Brown office in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
So we're going to get to that.
Okay.
We're going to get to it. We ain't going to go to Les
That's
Brown
advice,
yet.
but
yeah, but
you want to say childhood advice then?
No, you can wait. I mean, you can
Okay.
wait.
We ain't
All
going
right.
to get to that. We getting to that part.
Okay.
We coming. That's coming up here in a little bit. All right. I do got to say this, because I'd be remiss if I don't say it. You are one of the first, but you're not the first
Okay.
to be, interviewing
Oh, to do
artists.
both.
Right. But you're one of the first.
Okay.
We haven't had very many. Paula Saunders, Lewis was the first to do that.
Gotcha.
So we got to give it.
First of all,
she's
so
Queen
I mean,
of Jazz,
but let
KC.
me tell you that it's a good successor. She's a predecessor.
Yeah, I'm
Paula's
gonna
dope.
say you in good company though.
Paula dope.
You up there, Yeah. So now let's move. Before we get to that, we're going to move because you said you came to Kansas City. Now, you came here the first time. This is before Les Brown. Okay? So now let's talk about it. You said the change was a bullet and a child. Okay? But what made you move to Kansas? Like, what was the deciding factor of coming from Chicago with all this, you coming from Illinois, and to come to Kansas? Because when you came, you didn't have things lined up. You didn't have the job, you didn't have so you're coming a different way. So what was the deciding factor on that?
The deciding factor was two things. One, like I said earlier, I told my father if I wasn't going to be successful in sports, I was going to be the next largest gang leader. So if I stayed at home and after getting shot in the way my family act, it would have led to me either being dead or in jail within the next 2, 3, 5 years. So my friend, he had similar encounters with being, I'm going to call servant. He was being a servant looking out for his brothers. And when he realized that no one was really having his back, he wanted to escape. And he had an uncle in Kansas City, Missouri. So he just packed up his box Chevy and drove out to Kansas, Missouri. Stayed. Box Chevy. Drove out here, 89 box Chevy, and talked to his uncle. And his uncle let him stay with his crib. And for 2 months, he moved to Wyandotte, Royal Ridge. And then he moved his child. She wasn't pregnant at the time, but he moved his high school sweetheart out here. And they started building. Then we had a white boy friend of mine named Reem that was good at engineering music. And he came out here. He became the supervisor at Walmart at the Legends. And when they heard about me getting shot, the first reaction, like any brother, he was finna come back home. So instead of coming back home and getting back violent, she persuaded him and convinced him, why don't you just move out here? He can just stay up front of the living room. He has a daughter now. So when they called me, I still didn't want to come. Because when I thought Kansas, all I thought about was the Wizard of Oz. Like just trees and dirt roads and stuff.
I want you to know that.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'll make it better for you. Men's Society. Remember that scene? Yeah, States was finna go to Kansas. Kansas. You know, so it's like you never hear anything good about Kansas. Gucci, we're gonna take these 10 bricks to Kansas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't listening to the good things. That's all it is. You wasn't listening.
It wasn't about me listening, it's what was being put in front of me.
First of all, the Wizard of Oz was dope. Magical place.
The Wizard of Oz was in the 60s. I'm talking about a movie back in, he wasn't even in the 80s. But go ahead, because I've been in places, people like, you from Kansas? There's black people out there? I'm
you see?
I know.
Like, hold up, player.
I think you got yellow, they got
hold
dust
up,
roads.
Where I'm from, that's all it is.
So where's the yellow brick road?
And watch it sit.
Where's the yellow brick road?
That ain't around here. That's in a magical place called Oz. You
Is.
know what I'm saying? And but
sure.
Now you just said you don't like fiction, but you talking about fiction.
I don't like none of them characters. You heard my song, right?
All right, go ahead.
They never been to 10 minutes. After he, my other friend came out and became a supervisor at Walmart at the Legends, they had a job already secured for him. He said, as long as you can pass a drug test, you come out with $500, bro. The first 2 months, you ain't got to pay no rent. Just stack your bread. We want to see you eat. We got a job for you. And before I hung up the phone, the mother of my child was like, I believe that. I'm like, you were just talking. He's like, look, y'all just talk about it. The door open. So we talked about it, my uncles, my aunties, everybody, and they decided that was the best decision.
How old were you at this time?
This time I was 20.
Was your father still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to finish up, and then we're going to get to talking about, what happened after here, and then the evolution and Les Brown, and we're going to get to all that. All right, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right. Okay, so we just kind of talked about the parts of getting to Kansas. We talked about getting here, how you got here, Now let's talk about you here. Okay, you're here. You said your guy had lined up Walmart. You got a place, on the couch. So what happens once you get here?
So once I get here, I'm thinking from how my brother painted it out to me. It's not my blood brother, it's just my homeboy. He was saying $500, and you give us that, and out of the $500, we're gonna give you 2 months of free rent. Stack your bread, and you're gonna be good. So when I came out here, I'm thinking, like, oh, he got a nice little leather couch. Out of the leather couch, I'm like, I'm finna sleep here. He said, oh, one more thing, you can't sleep on my couch. You gotta sleep on the floor. I'm like, really?
Childish.
So it molded more into me too. Like, don't get comfortable. Like, this is an opportunity, but don't make it your comfortability. So when I'm laying on the floor and I'm sleeping every night and I'm still pursuing music, they telling me to stop. But he had my white friend Remy at the time. He had a whole in-house.
I don't know this person.
Probably do. He was around a lot of places. So he had the whole studio set up. We got the pad and everything set up in-house, so we record music every day on top of it. And it came to a point where outside of the streets, it was the first time legally I was able to stack up $5,000 within 6 months. Got my own car, got a second job, worked at Yard House at the Legends, and then moved out to Johnson County. Because in between that, when I was looking for that second job, I ran into this lady at Applebee's. And this is when you, another message of my speaking is faith over fear. So when I was going looking for another job application, a lady asked me, "Can I ask you a question? You seem like a nice guy." I'm like, "What's up?" She said, "Are you looking for just another job or another source of income?" I was like, "Another source of income. What's up?" I got a friend that he got a business. At this time, I'm not hip too much of MLM, direct sales, multi-level marketing, network marketing. So I'm open. I'll meet with him. I met with him 2 days later. I had signed up for overtime at Walmart. We sat down. We had a conversation. I don't know this guy from a can of paint. And I'm not used to people being open like that, because in Chicago, all our face is just tight. We watching everything, so you got to be on your P's and Q's. Even if you're not with the stuff, you got to be on your P's and Q's. So when he opened up, like, look, this is what we in. The company we were with is called Amway. We have LTD, leadership, team development, this and that. He was just talking real good. He showed me his checks. I'm like, whoa, how old are you? And at that time, he was 25 and I was 20. I'm like, this is way better than a job. I'll take that. It's the only thing is we had a conference coming up. Can you make it? When is it? It's tomorrow. Where is it? It's in St. Louis. I'm like, I just signed up for overtime. Well, tell me this. Not to be smart, not to offend you. You go into overtime tomorrow, you get a little bit extra more money. You say you have a daughter, but if you die tomorrow on your way to work, can you pass that job to your daughter? I was like, nah. He said, so choose your future instead of your current circumstance. So I took a leap of faith and I went to St. Louis. And when I seen all these people in the room, people that looked like me, people who didn't look like me, only in their 20s, hearing words like residual income, like, what the heck is that? Hearing stuff about assets, what the heck is that? Liabilities, what is that? You know, so it gave me a different sight of money, and I still had that hustler mentality straight from Chicago. So I'm looking like, you telling me I can make money just by like selling something online and going to do. I'm like, I used to kind of do that with vector marketing and selling Cutco knives. I ain't like that. I like what y'all selling, what y'all doing with the books too, because I wasn't a reader. So one thing I have to share that's pinnacle, because the audience needs to hear this. It was reading in relationships that really gave me the light bulb moment of transforming. And I give that credit to Kendrick Lamar. Because what most people don't understand, relationship broken down is nothing but relating with another individual, aka in the Bible, be not unevenly yoked. So you're relating, you finding someone you evenly yoked with, a dream, a goal, a passion, something. But at the end of relate, you have ship. Like, let's forget the middle part. Let's just go straight to ship. Y'all got to go somewhere. Yeah. So when I seen where they was doing, and I could relate with Kendrick Lamar because he come from Compton, his family come from Chicago. So I'm just looking at the signs like, is this a coincidence? I didn't know who he was. So the first song I heard was a song called Cut You Off. And at that time, being a hip-hop artist, I slowly started to listen to words. I had a debate with my roommate that moved me out here that Jay-Z wasn't the great. So he started putting me on that song Remember, about all the albums back to back, back to back. So when I heard Kendrick Lamar, he said, I'm searching deeply for Kendrick Lamar. I read about Napoleon Hill and try to know God. They say he the key to my blessings. And if I speak the good into existence, then instantly my dreams are unlocked. Money flow like water. I just wait at the dock. I'm like, okay, I know who God is. Who the hell is Napoleon Hill? So when I didn't want to read. I don't like reading. So I looked up Napoleon Hill, author of the book, Think and Grow Rich. Concept, whatever the mind can conceive to believe, it can achieve. So from that point, that's when it hit. When he took me to the conference, I started learning about motivational speakers. I'm like, what the heck? I don't know this. So it took me away, and I was able to take the street hustle mentality, the people I looked up to, and found a new group of people I looked up to that opened me up, open arms, didn't care about snaking me out, didn't want nothing, but to generally help me. And from that point, I adopted that mentality of servitude.
Okay. So now you into the residual income, you into trying to do this, the Amway? Okay. Man, where does Les Brown come in? Now it's time for that. Where does Les Brown come in? How does that even come?
Amway.
Okay, so let's talk. I mean, people got to know this. I'm asking you, yes, but the people got to know this. So now you through Amway, you doing this. Your mind's opening. You know, you don't think Jay-Z's the greatest no more. You think Kendrick Lamar. I mean, that's out there. You know, you said it. This is on video.
Yeah,
it's on video.
He is the greatest now. I had to be educated. I know why he's the greatest.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll fix it. I'm just saying we fix it. Okay, here we go. Yeah. But anyway, we there. So just take us through, you know, how they got to Les Brown. Take us to that.
So going to that trip to St. Louis, prior to, I had heard about Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher.
Yeah, that's my guy.
The first video I heard.
I listen to him every day for 3 years, and I still listen to him now. That's
man,
what
he go.
Man, he go hard.
He
But go ahead.
He definitely do. But I'm gonna tell you why.
Football teams listen to it.
I'm gonna tell you why I chose Les over Eric though. So
Yeah.
I heard Eric Thomas talk about when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, and I took that literally, and I started just grinding out two jobs, Amway, this, that, just going at it, and that's when I eventually got sleep deprived and had car accidents, almost died. But Les Brown, on that trip when they cut Eric Thomas off, 'cause I already heard him, the voice, the way he delivered his stories just reminded me, like I said, my father had me at 53. So he back in Chicago. I don't have a father figure. I don't have no elders, no family at all. So when I heard him speak, it just sat with me. I became a kid.
No, stop it. You said they cut Eric Thomas off. And then you heard Les Brown. Who was they? And who was playing that? Who was that?
My very first mentor, before I even knew mentors exist, David Park. David Park of Amway. I think he's platinum now or going diamond. He put me onto the speaking. He turned off Eric Thomas on YouTube and turned on a Les Brown motivational speech. But it was a compilation they took in his different speeches, and he sounded like Denzel Washington. Everybody loved Denzel growing up and seeing it. So I'm like, is this Denzel? So I did my research and found out who he was. And from that point, I just started digging more into Les Brown. So the thing with Eric Thomas' story, they say facts tell, but stories sell. Eric Thomas' story didn't sell me, and even though he was born in Chicago. So I related with that part, but I'm not sold on your story. And I'm not taking shots. You know, we hip-hop artists, we take shots. But why he didn't sit with me? Because you chose to leave that household. You had a good father and stepdad taking care of it. You chose to be homeless. You chose to eat out of garbage cans. You wasn't forced in that. They didn't drop you off. They didn't leave you. Your parents didn't die. They didn't get locked up. You chose. Coming where I come from, I can't respect that. I like your message. I like what you stand for. You paint a good story, but your background don't resonate with me. I don't know how I'm gonna get out. You ran.
Right.
I was stuck. Les Brown was stuck. His whole message was how to get unstuck. I sat with Les Brown.
No, that's respect.
Okay, I respect that. Okay, so now you're hearing Les Brown. Come on, man, get to it.
All right,
man.
I just want to make sure we on point. All right.
Yeah, I love it.
So after I heard that, I heard Les Brown was coming to Kansas City to the convention center. I'm like, oh, I want to meet him. It's my idol. I want to meet him. I had started me a YouTube channel, created a vision board, put him in the left corner of the vision board, put rappers and everything. And I told myself I'm going to speak with him one day. So affirmations. I started learning about the book, The Secret. I watched the documentary. I started studying the law. So it made sense now what Kendrick Lamar was saying, speaking into existence. I bet. So I'm practicing that. He come to the convention center. I tried to see him. At this time, he had a sickness going on, so he couldn't stand up. He was just sitting down giving the speech. And I was 4 rows behind. I'm like, man, I want to see him. It was the Get Motivated event. I couldn't meet him. He had to leave. I'm like, one day, they had left his email on the screen, text his number if you want to become a speaker. And on that day on stage, he said, I get paid $40,000 an hour to speak. And I'm looking like, I rap, Jay-Z rap, we all tell our story, and he get $40,000 an hour? Sign me up. So I'm just emailing. I'm trying to pitch myself. I don't know about pitching. I'm trying to this why me. I come from here. Blah blah blah. It still wasn't working. Fast forward, I'm working at Martin Rhea in Riverside, Missouri on cars. They doing a layoff season. I only got $800 to my name. I see a Facebook ad. At this time, not to skip too far, I gotta bring it back. I have no family in Kansas City. So in 2015, I became homeless. My job out in Lenexa did layoff. I got my check. What do they call that check when they give people?
Severance.
Got my severance check, And I say, you know what? I'm gonna go all in with Amway. I'm gonna do this network marketing. I start calling real estate agents. I'm doing everything Les Brown telling me about sales. I'm listening to Jim Rohn, listening to Earl Nightingale. I'm listening to Holton Bugs of Organo Gold. I'm just diving deep, but I couldn't make the quota deadline. So I ended up starting taking cold showers. I'm just waiting till that deputy come knock on the door saying, get your stuff, you gotta go. But when they cut the lights off and the water was there eventually, I was like, man, it is what it is. So I started, for the next 45 days, I slept in my car. And while sleeping in my car, going to Martin Ray, one of my friends seen it. He's like, man, I know you've been smelling a little funny at work and you got a lot of bags. Everything okay? I was like, nah, I actually lost my crib. I'm looking for a place to stay. He's like, man, you can stay in my crib. And that's what I love about Kansas City. People, they open. They took me from outside and made me one of this. So I stayed with him. As I'm staying with him, I'm still doing music. I'm still listening to Les Brown. And he ended up getting his apartment shot up. Why, I don't know. He had other people staying there. So now I'm back homeless in my car. Then another lady invited me to her townhome in Wyandotte off 38th Street and Leavenworth Road. So I'm staying over there now. And that was okay for a little bit. And this when they did another layoff. Why they did another layoff, I got a new documentary coming out called Street Addiction. I fell back to my street ways. I need to get back on my feet. So I started jumping back the streets, hustling. And she had a brother that got out of jail. And he ended up going downstairs in my bag, and they took all my work and took some of my clothes and stuff. So now I'm looking like, okay, I know what I was going to do back at home when I got shot. I don't like people playing with me because they think I'm soft. So now at this time, now I'm sleeping with a gun. I'm thinking about, like, if anything come, what am I going to do? How, like, I got to get out of this. God, help me, like, show me a sign. And I seen a Facebook ad, Les Brown, looking for speakers, program, Les Brown Institute, convention coming up in June, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 3-day event. Call right now. I called. The program was $5,000. I didn't have it. I only had $800. The guy told me, well, if you had $500, could you make a payment plan? I'm like, yeah. Did it. He said, also, if you want to speak and tell your story, Les is looking for 10 speakers. And if you can tell your story powerfully within 3 minutes, you will be chose. I studied Les Brown. I broke down all his videos, see how he did it. I matched my story in between how he would say it. I was chosen. I didn't have no money. I spent $500, so now I'm down to only $300 left out of $800. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna get to Florida? I called 77 people that I met out here, people back home. 7 people loaned me the money to get out to Florida. I still didn't have no money to get a hotel room. I got out there. I made a good impression. People seen it. They let me stay with them in the hotel. The day of speaking on stage, 2 people go up. They yelling, they're trying to be like Eric Thomas. Let's run. Wait. Speaking is not about yelling. I know this new generation, y'all believe in yelling, but it's about connecting. It's about conviction. People need to hear you. How can anyone hear you if you're yelling at them? No one likes to be yelled at. Please take your time and speak with us. So when I get up, I'm shaking, I'm nervous, but I'm believing affirmations. I say, you know what? They all came here to see me. When they see me, they gonna stand. They can't wait to see me. I'm the one they come to see. I'm number 7. I get on stage. Les Brown said, my lucky number 7. I'm the 7th of 17 kids. I have 7 kids. I have prostate cancer. I beat that 7 times. Did I tell you my favorite number is lucky 7? So I got on stage. I'm like, well, I guess I'm number 7. Crowd started laughing. So I gave my speech, and voila, the only one out of 10 that had a standing ovation. So I manifested affirmation that quick. And from that point, the 3rd day of the event, he said, if anybody looking to go on road with us, we're doing a tour throughout the South Florida region, then we're going worldwide. We look for 3 volunteers. My daughter back in Chicago, I'm evicted, I have nothing to go to. I'm like, I'm the one, it's a sign. So I stayed up late, I connected with the videographers, I'm staying behind the scenes, trying to get to know them, I'm talking to the orators, just try to get close to Les, letting them hear my story, because they already liked it. People gave me interviews, testimonies, and I go back to Kansas City. 3 days later, the president of his company called me, hey, so you wanted to become part of the tour, right? Well, Cody Mannix is vouching for you, and Sandra is vouching for you, and they said you would be the best fit. How soon can you get out here? I'm like, I want to come tomorrow. I just got to let my job know, 2-week notice. So outside of that, if I pay for your ticket, you'll be able to come out here next week. I'm like, no doubt. All right, I'm going to send the ticket over. Got my ticket ready, went back to my job, gave a 30-minute speech, motivated them, got the second standing ovation, went to Florida, stayed out there for 6 months, and started working with Les, video, camera work, going to business chambers of commerce, going to car sales company, going to real estate companies, insurance companies, and we just speaking and building to promote his speaking tour, You Gotta Be Hungry tour. And that's when I started to learn the power of sales and the power of a story. And me and Les became real close from that point.
Love it, man. Love to hear that, man. I love it.
Grind and the humbleness. like real life. I mean, because it took a lot for you to swallow your pride in some of them spaces to keep the hustle and to continue to push to try to get close to something that seemed like, I'm sure it seemed like it was impossible at some point.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. I respect that wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, quickly, we gotta wind down because T Money giving me that look back
He
there.
rocking back and forth.
You know, he rocking.
I don't know if y'all
now.
ever heard of the Tom Grinch. Listen, T Money worse than that. He rocking back and forth
So
like
when he get to doing that, but yeah. So we winding down. But talk a little bit about the art of evolving, reshaping your reality. Talk a little bit about that DVD.
Okay. So to talk about that, I have to go back to what you said, the advice. How'd you word that question?
What was the most unexpected advice?
Unexpected advice. So when Les had got sick and he had to go off on the 45-day leave, the tour started to close down. They started to let people go, and I was in the social media management department and film. So if Les not there, we can't film nothing. There's nothing to really do. So going back home, before I went back home and it got to that point, they wanted me to sell, like sit in the office. I'm like, I ain't come out to sell. I can't help out with the speaking engagement. I want to learn how to speak. He said, well, Les is not coming back, so you know that's not happening. Let me ask you, why'd you come out here? I was like, because I wanted to speak. I wanted to see how he set his process up. Okay, I told you that's not happening. So what other reason are you staying? I was like, Eric Stoller was the president of the company at that time. I was like, he brought me out here, and I'm always taught, death before dishonor. So for a man to don't know me, to put all that much money, let me stay in his gated community with him, to pay for the Airbnbs, the Ubers and all that, I'm indebted. I got to be here for this man. He still need me. He was like, okay, Brent, you know what your problem is? And this was the advice. You so loyal to everybody else that you disloyal to yourself. And it just gave me the chills. It's still right now, it gave me the chills. Because I never looked at it like that. I looked at it like I said, the greatest amongst you shall be a servant. I'm looking like, damn, that just hit home. Because I always been loyal to people, but I never got it in return, except for from older people. So from that point, after he said that, I went back to Chicago. My father was doing good. He started getting sick. So when I was around Les, the biggest thing he showed me was the key to success is your own self-conviction. You must first convince yourself. Once you convince yourself, you will convince others. And that's the art of sales. When I said that, I started thinking about Master P, the No Limit. He started off with movies. He started grinding out his trunk. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to wait to get no certain dollar amount. I don't have to wait to get no certain money. And I'm getting tired of telling people, like, you a rapper, you a speaker, like, what are you? You all over the place. You a jack of all trades. I'm like, no, I'm a serial entrepreneur. You just don't understand. You know what? I'm going to put out a film before I put out a book. You know what? I'm going to put out a film before I put out a real album. I'm going to do something totally different. I'm going to let the world get to know me by first knowing my story through entertainment, giving you the speak, the highlights, the music, the everything. And don't hear from me. Let me go through these different neighborhoods I transitioned through. That's people older than me that looked up to me, who I influenced. And that's how the thought came, putting Master P together and Les Brown's advice to create your own economy and build from there. And the only way you can do that is by reshaping your reality. And once you start reshaping your reality, you've entered the art of evolving.
Oh man, no deep.
Love
Man,
it.
put that
So where can I get the art of
put that on a
evolving?
shirt.
Where can I get that at?
Right now, I'm revamping a speaker website, so all my
Okay.
products and services are lined up, and I can give people, a timeline on what came out. They can do this. So if anybody wants the Art of Evolving documentary, you can reach out to me directly. Facebook, Instagram, email Brent Darden 714@gmail.com, and we send you over an invoice, and then you'll be able to get the digital copy of the documentary.
There we go. Tell them how they get to you on Instagram and Facebook.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, everything all together under King Enlighten, and that's Enlighten, not with a D, not Enlightenment, Enlighten, ENLIGHTEN, King Enlighten on all social media platforms.
I'm proud of you, man.
There we go.
Thank
I
you.
love it, man. I was so excited to have this story on here and to talk about the growth, to talk about it. I got a couple questions before we end. Now, the one question is, what would you say to youth who are struggling to find who they are struggling to find their way, and are right on that edge, about evolving and reshaping their reality of who they are, who they become, who they can become? What would you say to them?
Well, my biggest tagline is sharpen your awareness and cater your intelligence. And most people ask, like, how do you do that? It's a double entendre. the way you sharpen your awareness is by catering your intelligence. And the way you cater your intelligence is by sharpening your awareness. Now, what are the things that most people need to sharpen their awareness on is, one, their relationships, who you associating yourself with, which I learned from Les Brown. Create strategic, achievement, collaborative, driven relationships. And then second, working on personal development. You don't know everything. Don't be in your ego. Acronym, edging God out. Be open. In the Bible, it says, counsel with wise men. So it's many men out here that will help you, but you have to come to them with open ears. Those who have an ear, let them hear. So relationships, personal development, and then spirituality. What I mean by spirituality, I don't mean religion. To thy own self first be true. Know thyself. And when you know thyself, you can start aligning yourself to a purpose. And the way you're going to achieve this purpose is when you also start taking the time out to develop your communication skills. Because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. So develop these communication skills, and everything else will open up many doors for you.
I love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Man, I love it. Man, I really want to go for another hour or two. You know what I'm saying? On here, you know, we talk. I love the story, man. I love what you stand for. I love what you're doing. I love the message. I think that many more of our youth in our community need to know this. You know, I do understand that you started out local, now you're going global. I do understand that. Yeah, I know.
That way.
But really, you know, and I'm just excited, you know, that we got some things coming up in the future that we're going to be able to do to influence more of our youth, and to be able for them to, because I'm a firm believer. One thing I believe in the Jegna Club stands for is all of us. Every person has those people that they looked up to and wanted to emulate. And they have to be people that you can relate to. If you can't relate to them, they don't mean that. I don't care what it is. You got this man coming down here in a $4,000 suit, you know, $200,000 car, and he comes down here. They can't relate to them. Mm-hmm. You got to relate. But you can have a person that, you know what I mean, that can come in and they can look at this person like, oh, I can relate to that. I can relate to them. And it means more to them than these other things. So I'm just excited that we had the opportunity to have you here, have you on this platform, because you're doing great things. You got a great story, but then you also have a great effect on our youth to really push that they can become who and what they want. Mm-hmm. And that's what this platform is. And I'm excited. I'm really, really, really excited about the further things that we're going to be able to do in our community as you also, you know what I'm saying, do the other things. So I think that's great. Now, once again, you said you got another DVD coming out, so I want to get that back out too. What's the other DVD?
The new film, I'm going to call it film. You said DVD.
Okay, film.
You know, anybody watching DVDs no more. But, so, digital, era, metaverse.
That's a jab.
Let's get to it.
I got to. Hey, we gotta
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, you trying to make it.
Bro,
that. That's
he
not what he
jabbed
did.
Look,
What he did. See, this is a different.
What I'm doing is a politely correction instead of saying, "Hey, you wrong." No, you don't approach it like that.
You always trying to put something in there and make it something else.
No, he
You're not gonna
you.
have me and him going back and forth.
Man, it's me here for you,
He,
bro.
listen,
jabbed you.
he politely corrected me saying something wrong,
Now you
and I
falling
can
for the
accept that. I went to Wanda. If I was wrong, I was wrong. I can accept that.
Man, we love
you
you,
see what I'm
Brent.
saying? You know.
That's all I can say. So the new film is called Street Addiction: Chiraq to Kansas City, the battle of self-love, survival, and success. And that film is put together interviewing local entrepreneurs, people that actually came from Chicago and got successful business out here as entrepreneurs, and other people who are just still figuring it out, and other people that are older and wise who can give their story. All together as compilations, and I have a soundtrack of music that I'm in the studio performing. So I have a title, Street Addiction, that will be streaming within the next 6 months when I release that. So this summer that film will be out. And Manifest, the song I'll be performing today, Manifest is also on the soundtrack.
Okay.
Come on,
so
buddy.
you said that's going to be out. So I'm getting to something because we on film now. So I'm getting something that'll be coming out sometime by next summer. 2023.
Yes.
So that means that we're going to have to set up you coming back to talk about the other one.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I just had to put that on film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just get out there. That
Not to
means
mention it comes with a free booklet.
It comes with a free booklet.
It comes with a free booklet.
It come with free booking?
Booklet called Enter to Outer Wealth. Enter to Outer Wealth.
So that wasn't a shot. That wasn't a shot.
No, I think I missed it. Did you catch it?
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying that wasn't a shot. He corrected you talking about booking, and he said no
Bro,
booking.
he said nobody. You know what, bro?
I'm just saying
Go ahead,
that wasn't
man.
a shot.
Let
That's
the
what
man
I'm
put a
saying.
kick me sign on your back if you want.
Man, she just want him to be here. I don't understand why she want. Boy, listen, man.
I'm here
Listen,
for
for
you,
somebody that love me so much, that hate so much, I'm gonna hit you with yours. Man. Ain't that how you do me?
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. We ask everybody
He said
this
it.
before we get to your performance, because we don't forget that's coming up. We gotta do that. Last question. We ask everyone this: if you had the attention of the world, the whole world, for 20 seconds, what would you say? Now, don't tell us what you would say. T Money gonna count you down. You're gonna look in the camera and you're gonna give him the commercial or that 20 seconds. He's gonna tell you when your 20 seconds is up. All right. So count him down, T.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you're aware or unaware, there's always someone watching. We are all made in the likeness and image of God. So as you live, strive to live as a God, for you are the mini God and the child of the Most High. So when you die, make sure when you pass away that you leave a message. Your whole life was a message. Live as a God, but die a message. And remember, sharpen your awareness, cater your intelligence, and King Enlighten on all social media platforms.
King of Light on all
All
social
right.
media
Okay.
platforms.
I rock with that. But you had me nervous for a minute. You had me
He hit
nervous.
you with it.
You know, you had me nervous because, you know, I always say you got the attention of the whole world. And you say all these, you know, beautiful words, but then you don't never tell nobody how to
He got
divide
his
what you got.
elevator speech
You know what I'm
down.
saying? Oh, he got it.
He
He
ready.
got it. I knew he was coming. I just was waiting. Like, I know he gonna say something about how to get in contact.
We sure-
So I
Of
love it.
course.
I mean, we can show it, but it's the what's over there.
I know
You know, I
that.
got my copy. Don't try to act like you got the copy. Don't try to act like you.
I
See
know.
how you
I know.
trying to
You
act
see-
like.
I see. How did
see
he
how
get the
she do?
copy?
T. She try to act
Did
like
you
she
give
got
that
the
to
copy.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
You gave that to him?
I gave it to him.
As if I wasn't here. You knew I would be here.
No, we weren't probably introduced yet. We
Okay.
weren't even.
Man,
no,
why
no.
is you worried about?
I
You
just asked
always
a
worried
question.
about what I'm getting. And
I
what's
just asked
this
him.
is,
I asked him a question. You know what? Let's go to break.
Man, I'm just saying, this is crazy, man. Hey, if you haven't got it, shoot out to him. Make sure you get a copy. All right, make sure you get it. If you don't, let me see that. See that T? It's official. That's brown. You see what I'm saying? It's official. All right. Let me put this over here. I see you pounding my stuff, man.
Childish, bro.
Yeah,
Let's hold
no.
it together.
Let's hold it together. Nah, I don't think that's gonna work. Okay, listen. Hey, I am Coach Mo.
And I'm Jabrelle Jenee.
Together, we are Culture Keepers.
Keepers.
We appreciate you,
And we love you.
and we thank you for coming out here with us. All right.
Yeah.
Next week, we got something special.
Oh, man.
Next week, we got the popper coming. You know what I'm saying?
The
We got the
popper!
popper coming next week. All right. We got the popper coming next week. He for an interview, you know, and a performance. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Mr. IMKC is coming here. You know what I mean? So that's next week.
Let's
We
go.
are here at 1739 Gallery, right off of 18th and Walnut. Okay? We appreciate you, everyone. Do not leave, because we got King Enlighten, Brent Darden, going to perform some more of his new music. All right?
Yes.
Hey, we out.
Thank you, Brent Darden.
How you doing? This is B.O. Deuces, a.k.a. King Enlighten, Brent Darden, and right now I'm going to perform to you, local to global, inspired by my mentor, Les Brown. Once you expand your mind and you grind, just in due time, your success shall arrive. DJ Ben Rich, hit me with that.
What goals I have is teaching people how to tell their story, how to grow their business, be the voice of their business, how to improve their customer service, how to develop their leadership voice, how to go from being local to being global.
Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Change thoughts, direct your mind. Do a shot in due time. Stay on track, have a business. That's how you keep on winning. Ain't no quitting, no complaining. This is simply the beginning. Started out, I was local.
Now I'm seeing things global. Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Started off on a good foot, headed up, look out and took off. Crazy how things change quick. Yeah, right, I was laid off. Money slowed down, kicked out from the hood, luxury back to nothing now. Team turned around, heard less brown, caught an opportunity, scored a touchdown. Breakaway, yeah, dreams come true, I'm awake. Hard years had to formulate, look at where I am today. Hard work pays off, but no one tell you where the work is. Inside, build a mastermind, talking self-discipline, there it is. Take time, even more time, working on the mind, expand the vision. It's critical, more than physical, need a strong mental extension. Up and down, round and round, I promise you I'll be sick too. Sick and tired of what I'm going through. Change come, that's so true. Got big goals, hurt heaven knows, almost died at times, but I couldn't fold. What? Yeah, those times I was driving myself so hard, cause I'm fully sleep deprived. I almost died behind the wheel a couple of times. Look where I arrived, I survived. Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Change thoughts, direction, mind. Do it shine in due time. Stay on track, handle business. That's how you keep on winning. Ain't no quitting, no complaining. This is simply the beginning. Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Started out, I was local. Now I'm seeing things global. Started out, I was local.
This next track is Manifest, one of the soundtracks on my new film coming out 2023, Street Addiction, Chicago to Kansas City. If you have any dreams and goals, just know you can manifest anything you put your mind to. Let's get into it.
That's the enemy. Who shot from it? I spiral. Fuck surviving.